My name is Grace Spence Green and my book is To Exist As I Am. I think disability is still so stigmatised because we have such a lack of representation in mainstream media of many disabilities. And I think this lack of representation leads to lack of knowledge from the public, and I think that leads to a real discomfort around disability and a real avoidance in wanting to talk about it and wanting to tackle these issues. I think the language we use around disability also adds to this stigma, because I do think language affects attitudes which affect behaviour. I think some of the wildest things people have said to me since I've become a wheelchair user stem from a lack of experience and discomfort, and people wanting to connect with me but not knowing what to say and sort of end up saying the worst thing possible. So I think a lot of the time it doesn't come from a place of malice. So I try to understand that when I hear people start telling me a strange cure that they think could help me, or they start telling me about their aunt who was a wheelchair user 10 years ago for 6 months and how they understand where I'm coming from. But the thing I actually find maybe the most interesting is the people that actually can't even say the word wheelchair. They're so uncomfortable around it. They sort of gesture at my general being, and they, it feels as though if they say the word, then I will realise that I am disabled, and they can't address the elephant in the room that's in their mind. I think my do's and don'ts when interacting with any disabled person, I think if I start with the don'ts, it's to not assume my abilities, and that goes for sort of not assuming that I can't do something, but also not assuming that I don't need any help. I think it's being open to learning and open to being flexible. Another don't is connected to assumptions. It's grabbing my chair without asking. It's trying to help me with something when I haven't asked for their help. I really struggle when people speak to whoever's with me that's standing up, whether my partner or my friend or my family. I'm never sort of spoken to directly sometimes, and that's challenging. Stemming from that, what I would love people to do is ask me direct questions, tell me if they don't know how to help me with something, or they don't really know what language to use. I'd much rather people were direct with their lack of knowledge, or direct with their questions. The social model of disability kind of originated in the 1970s. I think it was a UK disability movement who first kind of described the idea that many of the reasons disabled people are disabled is because of the environment that we live in, the infrastructure that is around us, and the kind of societal expectations of what we can and can't do. And then the phrase, the social model, was coined by Mike Oliver in his sort of groundbreaking book, The Politics of Disablement. It was really amazing to phrase it as the social model of disability, because it went completely against the medical model of disability, which was the sort of long-standing model before this came kind of into the language, which the medical model describes a disability as something innately wrong with the person, and because it's something kind of intrinsically wrong within the patient, it has to be fixed or cured. The social model looks critically at the environment around us and what is actually disabling us. So, for example, having stairs instead of a lift or a ramp, it kind of subverts the expectations onto society to facilitate people as they are. Radical acceptance means to me not only accepting my injury, but embracing everything that has come with it. I think, to me, it's the antithesis of trying to overcome my disability. It's really living in it, embracing all the experiences and opportunities it has given me, the relationships that I've formed from it, the community I have found. I really love the term active hope that Michaela Loach uses in her book, It's Not That Radical. And I think it's something that people can take into their everyday life. I think hope is what powers us for a force for change. I think it's the opposite of apathy and just accepting things as the way they are. Active hope, I think, in everyday life is actually turning around and questioning why things have to be the way they are. I think nowadays there's such a focus on independence and working hard for yourself and earning things for yourself. But I like to actually emphasize the beauty of care, not only caring for others, but being cared for by others. And I think we can do this by being open to help. So being open to having people help you and being open to helping others.